Hi folks, Paul Boland here and welcome to another issue of the KnightTrek vlog. So this week we are going to look at some artwork, we're going to look at a game, we're going to look at how I make my games, and I've also got another movie for you. But it'll be an interesting take on the movie this week because it will mark my end of my use with the movies. So let's dive in. I'm going to start this week with the artwork. So there's two pieces of artwork we're going to look at this week, and the first one here is called Timepiece. So last week I showed you my initial steps into 3D CGI art and animation. After I did those initial pieces, I wanted to do something a bit more photorealistic. I mean, that's what 3D is all about, creating photorealistic artwork so that people look at it and they say, is that a photograph or is that an actual piece of art? So I took the small clock down off the mantelpiece and I sat down again with calligraphy through space and I started to model it. I'm thinking back to when I made it. It took me a long time to do it, but I remember as I worked on it and I was rendering off test renders along the way, I was like, wow, this looks great, this really does look like the clock. When it was finished and I did the final render, I absolutely loved it. I mean, what you see here, folks, is practically a carbon copy of that small clock that was on the mantelpiece. There is one exception. The small clock on the mantelpiece had a glass dome which went down over it, and I did model that as well, but I could not figure out how to work with reflections and stuff, and as a result, when the dome was over the clock and I rendered it, I was getting a blown up magnified view of the clock. I could probably figure that out today. I couldn't figure it out at the time, so there's no dome on this clock, but I have to admit I really like this piece of artwork. I think it looks very well, I think it rendered very well. It turned out good. After that I wanted to do another photorealistic image, so I went with Lego. What you see here is basically a scene in Lego. I took my sister's Lego set and I modelled bricks, I modelled lamps, I modelled tires, and basically I went piece by piece by piece and I modelled all the building blocks, and then I created this scene by assembling all the building blocks. This is another scene I'm really pleased with, another one that turned out really well, but if you actually look at some of the figures in the scene, some of them are smaller than others, whereas they all should be the same size. So what happened there? Well, put simply, I can't really remember that far back, but I do kind of recall it. It was trying to make them fit into scenes, which shouldn't have been an issue. I build me a time machine. I'll go back, I'll sit down beside myself as I was rendering this scene, modeling this scene, and ask myself, why are you resizing the little men? Still, I have to admit, it's another great looking image, turned out really well, and I'm really pleased with it. So that's the artwork for this week, folks. So let's move on to how do I make my games. So if you've been following this vlog, you've been on the KnightTrek Productions website, you have seen lots and lots of software, from games to application software. There are loads of titles. Just about every piece of software that you see on the KnightTrek Productions website was created using tools from a company called Clickteam. I have been using their software for over 2.5 decades. Yeah, folks, 25 odd years of working with it. It started off with Click and Play. I moved on to the Games Factory, which I held on to for a long time, before eventually I moved up to Multimedia Fusion, which then got moved up to Fusion. I currently use their Fusion 2.5 developer version, and the majority of the games and applications that you see on the website are made with Clickteam software. I have to say this software is extremely powerful. There's no need for you to have to learn a programming language such as C++, C#, COBOL, anything else. It uses something called an event editor, which is a point and click interface. So if you wanted a ball to bounce, when let's say ball hits brick, make the ball bounce, you would set up an action on the side of the event editor, which would be collision between ball and brick, and then all the game objects would be listed across the top of the event editor. So underneath the ball, you would click on that, a pop-up menu would appear, and you would go to movement, bounce, and there you go. Ball hits brick, collision between ball and brick, ball bounce. It is very simple to program stuff with this software, but it is extremely powerful. I've made everything from simple bat and ball games all the way up to Dungeoneer, which is a piece of software I will be addressing in a later program, in a later vlog. Shooting Stars, Space Dispatcher, Incoming, Bounce, Blastoid, everything that you see on the KnightTrek Productions website in these vlogs, 99% of it was made with Clickteam software. Another thing about being a part of the Clickteam community was they would hold Clickteam conventions. And you know, I went to a lot of these. I gave talks at a lot of these, demoing the work I was doing. But I have to say, they were great. They really were. As a matter of fact, I'm putting up some photos here. You can see this here was Clickteam Convention 2000. As you can see, there was just a small group of us who attended it. Then Clickteam Convention 2002, as you can see, the membership grew. And then Clickteam Convention 2005, the membership is massive. These were great events. You would actually get to meet people from the community, see what they're doing with Clickteam software, see the work that they're creating, and you would have the evening out. You know, you'd go out for dinner with them all, you'd have a great laugh. I have lots of memories of attending the Clickteam conventions. They were really great events. They haven't had a convention in a long time. I'm kind of wondering, is the convention dead? If you actually go to the Clickteam forums, they actually do have a forum for conventions, but I don't know if they're planning one. Would I go to one again? I probably would. Depending on cost and stuff, I would probably attend another convention, catch up with everyone, see what everyone's doing and stuff. What I will say to you folks, if you want to make your own games, you want to make your own software, Clickteam Fusion is the way to go. It is simple to use, it's not too expensive, there's no programming required, and when you can make games like what I make with it, granted, you gotta learn it. You know, you gotta learn how to use Fusion to make these. You'll start off like I did with a bat and ball game, and then down the road you make more and more and more, and then you end up making Dungeoneer. But if you want to make games, this is the way to do it. I would highly recommend Clickteam software for you. You can't go wrong. Go www.clickteam.com. That's spelled CLICKTEAM.com. And mark my words, you will join a fantastic community using an extremely powerful but easy to use piece of software, and I look forward to seeing what type of games you make. So that's how I make games. Let's move on to a game ourselves, and what I'm going to talk about this week, game wise, is actually something a bit different. Even though I have just given you a talk on Clickteam and their software, this game wasn't made with Clickteam and their software. I want to talk about Blox 3D. Yes folks, after 25 years odd of using Clickteam software, which is primarily a 2D based development tool, they do have 3D functionality added in now, but at its core it is a 2D based development tool. But after 25 years of 2D based creation, I wanted to get into the world of 3D, and I am doing this by learning Unity 3D. Now this is a very different kettle of fish. You will have to learn how to work in a 3D environment. You will have to learn a programming languages. I'm using C# to do my programming in Unity. But while I'm at the beginning of learning all these things, I have to admit, it's fun to learn, it's fun to use, and the end results are pretty good. So this one, Blox 3D, is my very first outing in the realm of 3D gaming. And it takes the classic bat and ball, 2D bat and ball game, and it spins it on its head as such, takes it into a new dimension, a third dimension, and you get Blox 3D. So the premise is the same. You've got the bat at the bottom, bouncing the ball upwards. You've got to destroy all the bricks in the play area. The difference here is that the bricks are in a 3D environment. The ball stays at ground level, but the blocks are built up on a height. You have to knock out the base blocks in order to make the upper blocks fall down. This is a physics-based gravity environment, so as you destroy the base blocks, gravity grabs the blocks above and you'll see the wall fall, you'll see it tumble. Blocks can go over the side of the play area and everything. I have to admit, I had a lot of fun making this game, and I initially intended it to just be a learning game as such, but it turned out so well I made it a commercial release. It's on the KnightTrek Productions PC software page, but there is a demo version available on the KnightTrek Productions freeware page. Blox 3D, folks. If you want to play the classic bat and ball game but in a whole new dimension, that's the way to go. So that takes us finally then to the movie this week, and as I said last week, and I said at the start of this video, the movie this week marks my end of the use with the movies. So if you recall, last week I said that I used everything in the movies to create Dark Owls. Basically, it marked the end of my use of that game. But there was an add-on pack coming, and that add-on pack was the Stunts and Effects add-on pack. So I bought it. Of course, I loved the movies and I wanted more. And this promised a lot more, and it gave a lot more. We got new set pieces, but we got a bunch of special effects, stunts and stuff like this. And I had a look at it. After I installed it, I went through it, I had a look at it, and it was impressive, but there was a problem. The problem was some of the big epic special effects that it offered were very scene specific. As a matter of fact, there's elements of Independence Day in some of the effects and scenes on offer. As a result, I decided to resurrect my old friend, Enemy Unknown. If you remember the 3-part series that was done 2 or 3 vlogs back, I felt that there was enough in the Stunts and Effects add-on pack to make another movie in that franchise. So I did, but I only made 2 more. So the first one was Enemy Unknown Alliance. This was a very short movie that basically set up the premise for the big, huge feature-length end to this franchise. It's good, it uses some of the new stuff, and it works well. I think you'll enjoy it. But the next one, well folks, you're in for a treat. Sit back, grab the popcorn, grab the soda, and enjoy. This is a 14.5-minute feature, and I went all out for it. So basically I used every special effect I could get my hands on in the movies and its add-on pack, and I did something else. I decided, instead of making this a text-based, subtitle-based movie at the bottom of the screen, I recorded the script. Yes, I recorded the script, folks. So yes, there are subtitles still at the bottom of this movie, but you can actually just sit back, relax, and listen to it play out. It's all voiced. I will say this, working with voices in the movies was a very time-consuming and tedious task. Am I pleased with the end result? Yes. Did the means of working with voices justify the end result? That I'm on the fence with. I mean, am I pleased with the end result? Yes, I am. I think the end result looks great. But the amount of work it took to make that end result, to work with voices, I wasn't happy with that really. It could have been easier, but anyway. What I will say about this is, once I made these two movies, The Enemy Unknown Alliance and The Enemy Unknown Armageddon, that was it. I was after buying the stunt and effects add-on pack, and these two movies used up all those extra features. As a result, when these two movies were made, just like when I made Dark Howls, I had exhausted all the content in the movies again. Yes, I could have kept going making movies, but I'd be using the same scenes with the same actions. And really and truly, the limitations of working with the movies, like I outlined in a previous video, where your actions are performed always the same way, whereas I wanted control over where the actor was, what he was doing, where he was looking, how his hand was, etc. And we weren't given that. The movies was just too limited for me. So with that, these two movies marked the end of my use with the movies, but it marked the start of my CGI movie making career as such. And that's what we'll be covering in next week's vlog. So for now folks, sit back, relax and enjoy The Enemy Unknown Alliance and The Enemy Unknown Armageddon. Till next week folks, bye.
Well, alright, do you know what? Anyways, I don't know about that. Well, alright, wonder about that. Well, I don't know.
Yes, good bones and good wide and some songs and some swim. When you try with some mineral.
Space Command, this is freighter ship Hostile. Requesting permission to depart for Sigma 4.
Hostile, you are clear for departure.
Where's our new lieutenant?
He should be here. I'll check the computer. Building security says he's in the building.
Lieutenant Damon, can't you keep 2 o'clock? Sorry, sir. Things just popped up. I was delayed. Lieutenant, have you forgotten? We are at war. The Earth could be attacked at any time without warning. I need every member of my crew performing at their best. I have no time for slackers. No, Captain Paul. I promise. You'll get nothing less than my best. I better, Lieutenant.
Gentlemen, the shuttle's waiting. Let's go to the ship.
This is a large ship for just a crew of 3.
The ship is highly automated. A crew of 3 is all it needs.
Are we ready? The bridge is just ahead. Yes, sir. Right, let's go. Crew, take your stations.
All systems are online.
Right, I want to run a series of battle drills. We have to be ready for anything.
Captain, there's a ship approaching.
They're firing weapons!
Earth, this is freighter Hostile. We're under attack.
Captain, Space Command has just informed us that they've received a distress call from the Postal. They are under attack. Laying a course for the Postal.
We are approaching the position of the Postal. I'm detecting an alien ship.
Let's see it.
The ship is massive, sir. It has a powerful propulsion engine. It's faster than our ship. I'm detecting a large number of shuttle bays and a powerful weapons array.
The ship's energy signature is a mix of Mogon and Sprogot.
Where is the postal?
Destroyed, sir.
Hail the alien ship. Destroy it.
Our power core is overloading.
We've damaged their reactor. The ship is going to explode. Good. Resume a course for Earth. Sir, the ship has resumed its course for Earth.
I've shut down the overload, but our engines are damaged.
We have to repair our engines and stop that ship. We've reached Earth. Launch the destroyers. The engines are fixed, laying a course for Earth, full speed.
We're approaching Earth.
Many of the cities are under attack. The destroyers have returned. What was that? The human ship. Return fire. The alien vessel has been destroyed. A large number of Earth cities have been destroyed too.
Our ship has sustained heavy damage. I have to go down to engineering to start repairs.
Go down and help Marcy in engineering. It's alright. It's over. Lieutenant Marcy gave her life saving our planet. She will be forever remembered as a hero. Eamon, we got off to a rocky start, but it's been an honour. The honour is mine, sir. Call me Paul. Okay, Paul. Do you think the war is over? I don't know, but if the Mogon or Sprogot return, we'll be ready.